Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women just like the world is obsessed with black women. Our intelligence, our resilience, our swag, our bodies, our culture. And to be a black woman is to be gaslit every day, to be made to believe like they don't give a damn about us.
Shit, that girl coming out saying that she was jealous of her friend and shit, it just confirms exactly what I've been telling y'all for the past few months.
Taylor just doesn't like dark-skinned women. That's all it is. We all know a Taylor who just doesn't like dark-skinned women.
I seen a video of a girl admitting that she was jealous of her friend and like explaining why. And the main thing that I got from it is because I've actually had someone come to me and tell me that they were jealous. Imagine it being your best fucking friend.
Sometimes the most shocking headlines are not shocking because they are loud. They are shocking because they touches something deeper, something people don't usually say out. Now, imagine hearing that one of the biggest global superstar, Taylor Swift, is being linked to a conversation about jealousy and black women. Not competition, not comparison, but jealousy. Now, whether that statement is true, misunderstood, or taken out of content, it opens the door to a much bigger conversation, because this is not just about one person. This is about perception, recognition, and who gets values in society. But before we go ahead, I want you to watch some of those clips black people and others reacted on. Listen to what is being said and ask yourself, is this a confession or is this something being interpreted differently? So guys, without wasting much time, let's watch those clips.
I seen a video of a girl admitting that she was jealous of her friend and like explaining why. And the main thing that I got from it is because I've actually had someone come to me and tell me that they were jealous. Imagine it being your best fucking friend for years and they're like, hey, I was jealous of you the whole time. But which that's another story for another day. But what I got from that basically is that people that are jealous of you basically feel like you don't work for shit that you have. Because the main thing that she kept saying is that this girl was living the life that she wanted. Hence, that's what a girl was saying to me. She was saying like I was a cheerleader. Everybody liked me, you know. She wanted to make the cheer team. And me thinking back at it, I'm like, oh, she was the cheer manager. So like that's, you know, but they think like everything is just handed to you. Like, no, I was on the cheer team. I was doing what people liked me because I was a good.
I have never experienced being jealous of a friend. I have always been the friend who my friend was jealous of. I am not friends with any of those women anymore. I don't play like that. The moment you realize that someone is jealous of you, get up out of there. Especially if they can't admit it. Because if they can't admit it, they not going to come up out of that. It ain't nothing we can do with that, baby. It's nothing I can do with that, mama. If you think that my last post was me saying that it's normal to be jealous of your friends, I fear that you have lost the plot, and I mean very quickly. I fear you didn't listen to it all the way through. I fear you listened to respond and not listen to understand. So let me help you, okay? If a person is jealous of their friends, they are a jealous, envious person, okay? That's not normal. However, if they are a jealous person that is living in denial, refusing to...
Shit, that girl coming out saying that she was jealous of her friend and shit, it just confirms exactly what I've been telling y'all for the past few months. Because, like, y'all really tried to gaslight me when I said that I'm scared to make friends due to jealousy. And a lot of the friendships that I had, like, the person was jealous of me and shit. Like, y'all really tried to gaslight me. But I'm telling you, like, I don't think y'all understand how common it is for somebody to be jealous of you and still be close to you. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, your biggest haters are not the ones who are loud about it. It's the ones who are in your face, acting like they like you, acting like they support you. Whole time, they secretly fucking hate you because they cannot be you, bro.
Everybody has been very kind to the young lady who posted a video talking about how she was jealous of her friend, and I get it. One can often find a shred of honor and honesty, and it's hard to get people to admit they're jealous. But I need to make something abundantly clear to all of you. It does not matter if someone admits that they're jealous of you. If you know that someone is jealous of you, you need to get away from them as quickly as possible, and I am not kidding. A jealous person will kill you, and obviously those are extreme cases we've seen, but in the non-extreme, they'll just resent you and find little ways to make your life miserable and uncomfortable until you stop being friends with them. So, a lot of people, when they discover jealousy in others, feel an urge to extend extreme amounts of empathy, an urge to include that person more, to coddle that person more, to share the benefits of their life more, to reassure that person more. All of those wonderful and kind things, because you're all wonderful and kind. The problem is, jealousy is an internal issue, not an external one. Jealousy is the flower that blossoms from deep insecurity and deep lack of fulfillment in one's own life. You cannot love someone out of insecurity. You cannot kindness them out of insecurity. You cannot trinket them out of a lack of fulfillment, and they will.
I'm sorry, but hating on Taylor Swift gives such pick-me energy. Like, y'all sound like those people that are like, no, I only listen to indie artists that are like super deep, so that's not for me. Like, that's what you people sound like. If millions of little girls have grown up with these experiences and related to Taylor's music and fallen in love with it, taking away from that is like inherently not feminist. Like, it's a weird thing to do to negate the experience of millions of little girls. And you guys say she's always overhyped, and it's like, maybe she's overhyped because millions of little girls feel the need to defend something that's so deeply personal to them. And it's like, that's not happening to other artists because no other artist is like gone for the gut the way you go for Taylor Swift, which is weird because if you look into her, she's arguably one of those people that it's like, damn, she's obviously like kind of a decent person from the information we have. And there's so many artists that are problematic and terrible, especially men, and you guys don't go for them at all. It's like only Taylor. And I'm like, how do you not see that?
The way grown-ass women want to be coddled and infantilized instead of being told the truth and treated like a fucking adult needs to be studied, because I don't even talk to 3-year-old children the way some of these grown women want to be talked to online. It's like, you're fucking up. The reason why your life is not going the way it is going is because you chose to do that. You know, and the fact that y'all coming up on Al Gore's internet to try to normalize jealousy, how is you cool? Obviously, you are not okay. When I saw people making think pieces about that shit, both, hey man, if you know that someone in your proximity, someone in your social circle is jealous of you, you need to cut sling ASAP, because that shit is going to get you killed. And immediately made me think of this movie that I saw that was so disturbing. One, I can't remember the title. And two, I had to fast forward, was this young girl, she was a dancer, teenager, right? She was a dancer.
What's happening with Taylor Swift is really interesting to me because it's happening on a large, like, global scale with her fan base right now, or I guess national scale with her fan base, but it's happened to me and I'm sure a lot of other Black women on a much smaller scale in our personal lives. Let's discuss. So essentially what happens is this: I'm from the Midwest, ran into a lot of liberal white women in my lifetime. I've developed friendships with several of them, and what I've come to realize and this isn't all of my friendships with white women, the ones who this don't apply to know that this doesn't apply to them. But without fail, we reach a point in our friendship where some world event happens, some national event happens, we're discussing politics, we're discussing something, you know. It's usually not gay rights, they're usually all for the gays. But something comes up where I am reminded vividly, it's jarring, shocks me every time, even though I shouldn't be, that they're a white woman. They're a white woman first.
You want to talk about people being obsessed with Taylor Swift? Let's talk about the other side of people who are obsessed with Taylor Swift, and that's the people that are obsessed with hating on her. I will never understand whenever I mention that I like Taylor Swift to someone, them being like, oh my gosh, her music is so bad. She's so bad. You like that? You like listening to this? Like, you think this is good? This is weird, because why are you so passionate about this? Why are you so passionate about that? And then it's always the people that are like, oh, well, I like her old stuff though. Interesting. So if I was listening to Taylor Swift's old stuff when I was 8 years old and I'm now 24, what's 24 minus 8? Quickly, 16. So for the past 16 years, there's not been a single Taylor Swift song that you have listened to and been like, oh, like, this is pretty good. Because that's how I know you're lying. That's how I know it's fake. It's all an act. You just want attention. Like, you're so obsessed. I just really hate when people don't let me enjoy things that I want to enjoy without giving their input. You don't hate Taylor Swift, you just love to hate on Taylor Swift, and I think that's kind of odd.
So as someone who's in music school right now, I was just in class and one of my teachers were talking about how Taylor Swift repopularized putting live horns in pop music when she released Shake It Off. And I was like, excuse me, what about Beyonce? She's always had live horns in her music. What are you talking about? And he was like, well, Beyonce's more of an R&B artist. And I was like, is Beyonce really an R&B artist or is she just black? And of course, the room went silent. Name me any black pop artist from the last 5 years that has reached the level of Taylor Swift's success quickly. You can't, and that's on purpose. The only thing that Taylor Swift has popularized is white mediocrity. And she has built an entire brand on making white mediocrity marketable. And we have black artists who have been topping charts and making pop hits. And since Taylor Swift has popularized white mediocrity as the industry standard, the entire pop industry is now just full of white girls that can't sing. Argue with your mama, I don't care.
My favorite thing about Swifties is that if you ever call Taylor out on anything, they will bring up a black woman to be like, she did this, why don't we ever talk about that? And usually when I'm critiquing Taylor Swift, part of it does go into being racist or anti-black or just having weird vibes. And for her fans to always turn to like, well, Beyonce did this, Cardi did that, Nicki did this, why are we always talking about black women? It's never, well, Lana Del Rey did this. No, it's always a black woman that they want to throw under the bus so that their faves' sins are absolved or whatever, which is super interesting because it all ties back into my original point, which is that fandom and Taylor Swift herself tend to have a lot of anti-blackness that they need to unpack and just blatant racism. I
feel like if you were to look at it like psychologically somewhere down the line in Taylor Swift's life, you would make the connection between the fact that Kanye West embarrassed her in one of the most important moments of her life in front of hundreds of thousands of people when she was 19 years old and told her, and he was right, that she did not deserve the award, that Beyonce, another way more talented black woman, deserved that award. Again, he was not wrong. Was he wrong in timing? Yes, because she was a kid. She was 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? It was indeed a traumatic experience, and that experience has followed her for the remainder of her career. I mean, you literally cannot mention it without it coming up, no matter how big and successful she is. And you could argue that that resentment festered and her entire career has been her chasing that ghost of, no, I am better. I am better. I am better. You know what I'm saying? Then you think about 12 Years a Slave, where I can't think of her name, but Lupita played her, and the scene where he calls them into the dining room, the slave master, the white man or whatever, and they're dancing, and she's dancing, and he's looking at her in awe. He's completely mesmerized by her, and his white wife sees this, and she takes like this crystal.
So Taylor Swift, the country girl next door, turns into the MAGA affirming trad wife. Why are we confused? I thought that was always the plan. I thought it was always her, like, I was waiting for her to come out and be like, you know, in her red plaid.
I've been over here in white folks' business. Well, I wouldn't say white folks' business. Well, I'll say Swiftie business, because there's some black Swifties too, honey. And, honey, the girls are not pleased with Taylor in this new album. Now, never have I ever listened to an entire body of work by the Taylor Swift. I am not, nor have I ever been, a Swiftie. But when y'all have a discourse going, you know, I tune in here and there to get some concept. I know the last album she put out, everybody was talking about she dissed Kim Kardashian. I listened to that one song. But I listened to a couple of this album, honey, and it's giving press. That wish list?
Taylor Swift's obsession with black women is not admiration. It's triangulation. Triangulation is when a person brings in a third party, whether that's an ex, a rival, or a stereotype, to try to create some type of tension, competition, or insecurity. Instead of being secure in your relationship, you pull in somebody else to boost your own ego. In Taylor Swift's new song she wrote, you couldn't understand why you felt alone. You were in it for real while she was in her phone. You were just a pose. So what she did was, she took a past figure from her fiance's life, Kayla Nicole, and turned it into a story device. Let me just let y'all know that is not power. That is literally insecurity disguised as poetry. And more importantly, when you use a woman as a prop in your narrative, your artistic creativity, you're not showing any type of respect. It's actually emotional erasure. Taylor Swift didn't just disrespect Kayla Nicole. She disrespected herself. She literally showed the world that her being or having the identity as the chosen one still isn't enough without her comparing herself to her fiance's exes. It's really unfortunate to build a brand on self-empowerment and feel like you are at the top, but then you still feel threatened by others. But you share with me, do you think this is a lyrical genius or do you think this is emotional immaturity?
After hearing little snippets of Taylor Swift's album and catching that little shady piece, Opalaka, whatever that song is called, or Obliques, which kind of references or like kind of hints, throw shade at Kayla Nicole, I'm even more pressed to know why Kayla Nicole and Travis Kelce broke up, because I go back and I look at the photos of them and the videos of them and I'm like, what went wrong? Because they were such a beautiful couple and they seemed to be so deeply in love. So when news broke that Kayla Nicole broke up with Travis Kelce, yes, she left Travis Kelce. When that news broke, I'm like, what happened? Like, and I be wanting to know what happened in people's relationships so bad. Like, even people on Instagram that I, kind of vaguely know, but not really. I be wanting to ask somebody, girl, like, I will DM somebody and be like, girl, what happened? But likewise, like, I'm willing.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women just like the world is obsessed with black women. Our intelligence, our resilience, our swag, our bodies, our culture. And to be a black woman is to be gaslit every day, to be made to believe like they don't give a damn about us, when really they cannot stop giving a damn about us. That is why everything we do is policed and critiqued. We talk too loud. We're too angry. We wear too much makeup. We wear too much weave. We want to be seen. Just grooming ourselves makes us want attention. By simply grooming ourselves, everything we do is under a microscope because they are obsessed with us and they will gaslight us.
I have been really impressed with Taylor Swift fans and non-fans who have called out the microaggressions that are in the song Eldest Daughter. And most people are focused in on I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage, which when I first heard the lyric, I thought, that's a good lyric. I'm not a bad bitch. Like, I know that that's what people like. That's what people talk about. That's what's cool. I'm a bad bitch. This, that, and the third. And how fly I am. I know that's an old word. Whatever the kids would say today. 6, 7. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know what that means. But my point is, I thought it was a good lyric to say, essentially, I'm not that. And that's okay. I'm okay with myself. But then I found out the whole situation about Megan Thee Stallion and how, her man had tried to holler at Meg. And then this line, and this isn't savage. Okay, so
I don't like Taylor Swift, and I really never have liked Taylor Swift. My husband calls it jealousy. Sure, absolutely. I think it's ridiculous that people become famous for doing what a lot of people can do. Or they can't. If you love Taylor Swift, she's doing amazing things that no one else in the whole universe can do. She's an independent, awesome woman who, her alone can sing, right? What? I don't know. But anyway, what I came on here to say was, I think that we should just believe black people. I think we should believe black women when they say things. That is all.
Being a black woman in America, in this world, is so interesting because we just go through life shining, being ourselves, being the best at everything we do. You know what I mean? And having this light. And then in the darkness, in the shadows, there's white women. Just jealous. It's really weird. And so because of that jealousy, you get things like
Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." So Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically white. Or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with black women, at least in this context, especially black women.
what is really going on here, because moments like this can go viral very fast. People hear something, they react instantly, and before you knew it, a whole narrative is created. But whether the statement is direct or interpreted, it still brings up a real conversation, a conversation about how black women are seen, valued, and sometimes overlooked. Let's be honest here. If entertainment, media, and global culture recognition has not always been equal, black women have contributed massively to music, fashion, beauty, and culture. But historically, they have always received the same level of credit, visibility, or reward. So when a headline like this appears, people don't just react to the individual, they react to the history behind it, because it reminds people of a pattern where influence exists, but recognition doesn't always match. Now, here is where the perspective of black American becomes powerful. Black women in particular have shaped culture in ways that go far beyond music or entertainment. Style, language, trends, energy, creativity, and often those contributions spread globally. But recognition sometimes delay, sometimes limited. So when conversation about jealousy or comparison comes up, it's not just about emotion, it's about acknowledgement. It's about finally seeing the influence that has always been there. Now, here's the part that might make people uncomfortable. Sometimes people don't recognize how much influence black women have until it becomes impossible to ignore, until trends start globally, until culture shifts, until the impact is undeniable, and then suddenly the conversation changes. But the real question is, why does it take that long? Why does recognition often comes after the fact? That's where the deeper conversation begins. Now, let me ask something that might make people think. What if this moment is not just about celebrity at all? What if it's about awareness? What if more people are starting to recognize the role of black women play in shaping global culture? Because once that recognition becomes clear, it changes how people sees everything: music, media, influence, and even success. The truth is, cultural influence is not always evenly created. Some voices are amplified faster, some contributions are recognized later, but over time, patterns become visible, and when people start noticing those patterns, conversations like this begin to happen more often, not as attack but as reflection. And at the end of the day, this is not just about a headline, it is about a shift in awareness, and shift where more people are paying attention to who shapes culture and who gets recognized for it. And for black Americans, especially black women, that shift really matters, because it brings visibility to something that has always existed. So when you see a title like this, don't just focus on the drama, look at the deeper conversation behind it, because sometimes the headline is just the surface, but the real story is about influence, recognition, and perspectives. So, I want to hear from you. Do you think conversations like this are helping people understand cultural influence better? Or do you think they are often misunderstood or exaggerated? Drop your thoughts in the comment below, and if you enjoy real thought-provoking conversation like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because on this channel we don't just react to headlines, we break down what they really mean, and trust me, the conversation is far from over.